How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan, born to battle. Star on our chest means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the star shines bright, that's when we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. And first and foremost, I want to wish each and every one of y'all a very happy new year. I pray that we all go into the new year aiming to be better versions than our 2025 selves. I know I'll do everything that I possibly can to continue the trend, to keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying, Cowboys Nation? But going into the new year, the Angry Cowboys fan's gonna have a new look, as y'all can see right now. Hopefully you like the new Diggs. I hope that everybody enjoys the new look and will continue to enjoy the content. I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep the content fresh. I'm gonna keep it entertaining. Most importantly, I'm gonna keep it raw and uncut. But in this video, I want to give my personal opinion when it comes to the release of Trayvon Diggs after the Dallas Cowboys game against the Washington Commanders and where the Dallas Cowboys go from here. We'll also be looking at the press conference from Brian Schottenheimer discussing the move to move off of Trayvon Diggs. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to the very first clip of the 2026 year, and that's Brian Schottenheimer at his press conference.
What's the reasoning behind releasing Trayvon Diggs?
Yeah, I just, in looking at it, we came up with the decision. It was really a culmination of multiple factors, performance, other elements. He's been an incredible player for this organization. And I truly do. I like Trayvon a lot. I wish him nothing but the best. And I'm, excited to see where he lands and watch him continue his career.
It seems as if that he wanted to stay in the D.C. area, and apparently you said no. How was that play a factor into what ended up doing? Yeah,
it was one of many factors. It was not the only factor. I'm not the Grinch that stole Christmas. Okay, I love Christmas. I love my family. But at the end of the day, we have a protocol that we go through, and the process was not followed. First time I heard about it, Trayvon, grabbed me after the game, and I'm celebrating a big win, and I explained to him the protocol, which has always been the protocol of we go up as a team, we come back as a team, and he decided to make a different decision. But I'll say this, Calvin, it was not the only reason that this decision was made.
Honestly, Cowboys Nation, the decision for the Dallas Cowboys to release Trayvon Diggs, it was a shock to me. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Y'all saw my initial reaction in the video that I did, but don't get it twisted. I had a feeling that it was going to be a post-June 1st cut, not a cut during the regular season, during the 2025 season, especially during the holiday season after we saw his son covered on Sounds of the Sidelines. That was pretty crazy to me, Cowboys Nation. But let's go ahead and jump into the second clip. In the second clip, Clarence Hill from DLLS Cowboys asked Brian Schottenheimer, no matter what it was, the decision was the decision. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that so we can come back and talk about it. Roll the clip.
Clarence Hill, DLS Cowboys. Regarding that protocol, so it didn't matter when he asked. You go up to the team, back to the team. If you asked Monday, if you asked before the game, it didn't matter when it was.
Yeah.
It was
my protocol, unless there's a family emergency or something specific, the protocol is we all go up. And other players had asked earlier in the week, and they were told the same thing. And I made that very clear to Trayvon, and he certainly didn't agree. And that's okay. That's his prerogative. But at the end of the day, I want to make this very clear. That was not the only reason that this happened. This happened for multiple factors: performance, other elements over the course of time. And I truly do wish him nothing but the best. I told him that yesterday when I talked to him. I said, I'm excited to see you continue your career.
So, Brian Schottenheimer, let me get this straight. There was more than one player that asked you to fall back in Washington after we beat the Washington Commanders on Christmas. It wasn't just Trayvon Diggs. I'm sorry, Cowboys Nation, but how many players on the team actually have family, a majority of their family in Washington? I don't know. That's neither here nor there to me. But you know, Cowboys Nation, the crazy thing about this press conference is the fact that Brian Schottenheimer made it abundantly clear that Trayvon Diggs' decision to defy the coach's wishes and stay in Washington was not the sole reason why the organization chose to get off of him, to release him. That there was more issues that came into play that caused the Dallas Cowboys brass to make the decision in releasing Trayvon Diggs. Honestly, Cowboys Nation, I believe this isn't just Trayvon Diggs' fault, but it's also the fault of the Dallas Cowboys organization. We'll talk about that more during my Raw and Uncut portion, so make sure you stick around for that. Now let's go ahead and jump into this last clip. In the last clip, Nick Harris asked how the release of Trayvon Diggs could actually affect the younger players on the team. So let's take a listen to that so we can come back and unpack this Raw and Uncut.
Nick Harris, for Star Telegram. I know you've talked a lot about consistency with guys. Obviously, Trayvon didn't give you guys that throughout the course of the season. For some younger guys that you've talked about and you've challenged, how can this kind of serve as an example for them, just to kind of show like, hey, this is one of the highest paid players on the team, had a big status, but yet it's all about buying into that consistency.
Yeah, again, I think, I'm not going to use just Trayvon because, again, I respect the hell out of Trayvon. I really do. And, when I've seen what he's done here and the impact that he's had for this organization. And honestly, he was rewarded for that, which was great and was deserved. But to me, it's each individual is part of the team. And the team requires consistency because the team wants to win, John just asked me, what do I want from the defense? And I was going to say, honestly, let's get a win. Because that's what you say when you guys ask me about Dak. What do you want? Well, I want 5 touchdowns from Dak. No, I don't. I want to win, But consistency is part of sustaining success and winning and developing a great team. And, I think the young players that are around us and some of these veterans, when I talk about veterans, Dak Prescott, Jadeveon Clowney, Kenny Clark, those guys are consistent. They're great players. But damn, they're consistent. I mean, they give us everything that they got every day. And they work their asses off, and they prep, and they're here early, and they're in the training room getting treated, and they just do everything right. And I think if you want to model yourself after some guys, we have at least probably 15 to 20 veteran players that I think model that consistency, and that's cool for the young players to draw from.
So what are we saying, Brian Schottenheimer? That he wasn't consistent? Trayvon Diggs wasn't consistent? Cowboys Nation, I truly believe that this is a culmination of things that were allowed in the past with the Dallas Cowboys organization. But let's go ahead and dive into that a little bit more, shall we? Y'all ready for this Raw and Uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, Raw and Uncut.
Keeping it real, man. Keep it real. That's real.
This right here, Cowboys Nation, was extremely messy on both sides of this situation. Ever since Trayvon Diggs made the decision to go to Florida to partake in his rehab, he and the organization have been at odds with each other. When Diggs came back early from rehab and got hurt again, that gave Jerry, Steven, and the rest of the front office the leverage in this entire situation. That his defiance cost him precious rehabilitation time. That if he would have just rehabbed in-house, that he could have been back on the field and contributing to the team. Just look at DeMarvion and Overshown. I'll keep it a buck, Cowboys Nation. I rooted for Trayvon Diggs to be the best iteration, the best player that he could be while being a Dallas Cowboy. During his days playing under Dan Quinn, Trayvon Diggs was a super ball hawk. Bro had quarterbacks around the league scared to throw in his direction. The thing is, every fan that's watching this video understands that the best ability is availability. And ever since Trayvon Diggs' first injury, he hasn't been the same player ever since. But this is honestly what I fear for any player that has a season-ending injury. Will that player be the same player that they were when they got taken out in the injury? Will that player have faith in the injured body part that took him out for the season? Will they be able to cut, sustain weight, still have that burst, and be able to do their job the way they did it before they were injured? When Diggs came back the first time, we all could see that he wasn't the same player that he was before the injury, Cowboys Nation. Quarterbacks were targeting his side of the field a little more often than not. Bro was getting toasted. He was getting beat on different routes and assignments, but we all waited it out, hoping that he would get back to the Diggs that we are all accustomed to, but that never happened. And I hate to say this, Cowboys Nation, but what happened to Diggs makes me feel that much better in Jerry Jones' decision in trading Micah Parsons to get him away from the Dallas Cowboys locker room. Don't get it twisted. I loved Micah Parsons when he was a part of the Dallas Cowboys on the field, but off the field, I was all set with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is a very influential person, and like I said in the previous video, Micah is a great leader. He can be a great leader. But so can Chancellor Palpatine in Star Wars. What good is a player if they're going to infect the locker room with defiance? But like I said earlier in this video, this just isn't on Trayvon Diggs, Cowboys Nation. This is on the entire Dallas Cowboys organization, because I can bet you my bottom dollar that they allow shit like this to happen in the past. What's that old saying? Never tolerate anything in a win that you can't in a loss? I mean, I've heard a lot of fans talk about allowing more productive players to do things that not so productive players can't do. And that's been the mantra with this Dallas Cowboys team ever since I can remember, Cowboys Nation. Now that Brian Schottenheimer is trying to establish a new culture for the organization, those same things that they could get away with under Mike McCarthy or Jason Garrett and Dan Quinn won't be tolerated under the Brian Schottenheimer regime, when that should have been the mantra from the get-go. I blame that on Jerry Jones. But, Cowboys Nation, there is a light at the end of the tunnel for all parties involved. Trayvon Diggs gets to go and join a team with his best friend and Micah Parsons, and they get to help a playoff organization. Well, Trayvon Diggs does. Micah Parsons is injured, but they get to try and help an organization get over the hump and win a championship. The Dallas Cowboys get to save $13 to $14 million in salary cap to be able to bring players to the team that want to be here and help the organization try and achieve playoff success. Players can talk a good game saying that they want to spend their entire career with an organization, but actions speak a hell of a lot louder than words. The defiance from Trayvon Diggs to not get on the plane and fly back with the team was all that the team needed to make the decision. Personally, I'm glad that the law is being laid down by Schotty, because this was allowed to go on for way too long, Cowboys Nation. I feel the Dallas Cowboys lost one of the best corners that we've had in a minute, and it sucks, but it is what it is. When the release first happened, I posted on X saying that, hey, Trayvon Diggs must have been the fall guy for Matt Eberflus, but the more that comes to light, the more that comes out, the more I can see that it was on Trayvon as much as it was on the organization. Stop allowing people to cut corners. Stop allowing the popular players to get away with murder while not so popular players get turned down. Schotty said that he had to turn down a number of requests, but I haven't seen any reports of those cases. Why is that, Cowboys Nation? Maybe because no one else asked to stay behind in Washington other than Trayvon Diggs, but they wanted it to sound as if it was a rule across the board. But to end this video, Cowboys Nation, I am personally glad that Brian Schottenheimer's putting his foot down and asserting his dominance over the player personnel. That he's not allowing any player to run over him and do whatever they want to do carte blanche. I just want this to be an example for every player on the Dallas Cowboys, and not just one that y'all seem to have issues with stemming from training camp. If Dak Prescott asked to do the same thing, I expect Brian Schottenheimer to deny his request as well. You gotta fly back to the town with us. I don't give a shit how talented you are, Cowboys Nation. If you cut corners on a day-to-day basis in day-to-day activities, you're damn sure gonna cut corners out on that field. So Jerry, Steven, Schotty, if you're gonna enforce this on Trayvon Diggs, it better be enforced on every single player on this team, no matter what their talent level is. If this is gonna be the culture for the Dallas Cowboys, let it be the culture for every single player that puts the star on their helmet. And for those fans who act like Trayvon Diggs went out there and cheated on y'all, players come and go in this league all the damn time. Players get traded, they get released, they get waived. We all knew that the Dallas Cowboys letting go of Trayvon Diggs was going to be a reality post June 1st. We didn't expect it to be so soon, but it is what it is. To see some fans posting videos of every time that Trayvon Diggs got beaten coverage, that's super childish, Cowboys Nation. These are the same fans who say that, well, I'm a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not a fan of a single player. If that was the case, them letting go of Trayvon Diggs wouldn't have upset you as much. What does the NFL stand for, Cowboys Nation? Not for long. Well, that meaning certainly rings true in this situation. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Cowboys Nation, what is your feeling about the release of Trayvon Diggs? Do you place more blame on Trayvon Diggs, the organization, or both of them? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel reach its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video, share the content with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will almost guarantee that we get out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans. They'll come over to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel and want to be Angry Cowboys fans themselves. And if you are DC for life and you wish Diggs good luck in Green Bay, but you still remain DC for life, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. And you can catch the Madden 26 and College Football 26 gameplay on the new channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll put the link to that in the description. But I was a fan of Trayvon Diggs as a Dallas Cowboy, just like I was a fan of Rico Dowdle, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Deuce Vaughn, and anybody who put the Dallas Cowboy star on their helmet. That doesn't mean that I'm going to pack my bags and I'm going to leave with them. I wish them nothing but the best in the next chapter of their career, but I'll remain a Dallas Cowboys fan and a fan of whoever dons the star on their helmet. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Happy New Year's, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.